cognitive dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, no, it is. It's exactly what it is. And, it's one of those things of like, yeah, we saw in Measure of a Man how hard Picard fought for Data's rights, but he's not here fighting for Hugh's rights. Like, he's not here, using that same zeal to be like, hey, he's an individual and he's sentient and he has rights, and we can't just seize people and test and do stuff to them. No, Picard's like, yeah, let's do all of that. Let's do everything that the Federation does not stand for. Let's do all of those things. And it's just wild. Yeah.
Yeah, Picard's being very single-minded here. He's still, like he said before, he's definitely still out for revenge. He does not see Hugh as a person. He sees him as an object, still as an enemy, just as someone who's going to put everyone else in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is a different episode, in one of the unification episodes, which is before this, Spock tells him he's narrow-minded, and I'm like, Picard? No, not really. And then when you watch it and then you see this one after, you're like, oh, he really was here. He was like closed off and not wanting to even think of a possibility of any Borg being anything other than a killing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, ladies, your Star Trek Enterprise BFF necklace does not exist. But there is a classic comm badge that breaks in two pieces, and it has the classic line from the Wrath of Khan. I have, and always shall be your friend.
I need that. That.
So that's a thing out there.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll make us those necklaces.
I have full confidence that you can and will, because you are a very ingenious person with creating jewelry, and I will look at those comm badges because I think I need that in my life right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to you right now.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
We'll find it and post a link. We're getting to a good part here, you guys. Captain Picard is in his quarters in his loungewear. Drinking his glass of wine or whatever. And Guinan comes up, and then she's like, oh, the way... I love this bit, because the way she's like, oh, am I interrupting your relaxing evening? It was almost like, oh, are you alone? I mean, I need to get out of here, right? Like the way she was acting, and it was... Anyway, so she comes to talk to him about the Borg situation. She starts talking about how his name is Hugh, and that she talked to him, and she feels like he's becoming his own, and he's self-aware of things now, and he's an individual, and he actually has the ability to care about people and think, and not just blindly kill, basically. Picard's still like, meh, whatever. Just like she was before she went to see it. And she says, actually, I wrote it a little fancier in the notes. She implored Picard to speak to Hugh before the total systems failure of his entire race. He's just kind of like, ugh, fine, whatever, ugh, leave me alone. No, he doesn't say that. It's really interesting how she has gone through this whole, like, she was farther than Picard was, wanting the Borg nowhere near them. She didn't know why they even let it on the ship, and then now she's like, he's a person, damn it, look at this. Like that, I like that evolution of her character, because she actually felt for him, and she was able to talk to him and see him as an actual person, and calls him by his name.
I really... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, she's like the only one of two people ever call him Jean-Luc. I think it's like Jean-Luc. It's Beverly and Guinan, like the only two ever call him that.
Wait, I mean, of the regular cast.
Right.
Q
does it.
Called him.
Does? Yeah, she did.
She always called him Jean-Luc.
So. And Q does.
Yes, and Q does.
Oh, yes.
Jean-Luc Picard.
I love how Q always calls him Mon Capitaine. It's always it's very, very charming. Really quick, funny John Delancey story. Ages ago, when John Delancey first joined Twitter, he had put out someone had like retweeted him like, "Oh, hi, it's John Delancey. I play Q, and I'm on Twitter now." And I had tweeted at my sister saying, "If John Delancey doesn't like our tweets," and I added him in the tweet, do you think he'll throw us across the galaxy like he did the Enterprise? And he responded and said, "You never know. Better watch your step," or something like that. Very, very cute, very, very playful and funny. And John Delancey is a treasure, and I love him as Q. But he, in this scene, the very end of it, Guinan says to him, she really issues Picard a challenge, and she says, "If you're going to use this person to destroy his race, then you should look him in the eye at least once." And he doesn't even want to do it because he's like, "It's not a person, it's a Borg." And she insists, like, no, it's a person.
Well, I mean, he had been in the tension block or whatever and seen him, but he looked at Hugh but never saw him.
Correct.
Sense. It was just like, Hugh was a lamp. Okay,
exactly.
Plug the lamp in. If you think it needs to be fed, plug the lamp in. And Guinan is really trying to push him to drop this wall that he's got up and actually take a chance. Maybe this Hugh guy is great.
I mean, even just to see him as a person, like, she just wants him to see Hugh as a person and not just a mindless drone. And that's what she just really wants.
So that takes us to the next scene. Not sure. It's probably the next day. We're not given any star dates or anything. So, but Picard is wearing his uniform. He's in his ready room. Hugh and Worf are transported in. Picard asks Worf to leave, so he goes out, and it's just him and Hugh in the ready room. And he begins, for lack of a better word, interrogating Hugh. But not necessarily as Jean-Luc Picard, but as Locutus, because Hugh goes, "Locutus?" Like, I totally said that wrong. Like, he recognizes it, who he is, and then Jean-Luc takes on, like, all of this that he was, and basically asks him all these questions and gives him all these orders and tries to trick Hugh into returning to his Borg-like nature and not anything he can do so that he doesn't have to see him as a person, basically.
Yeah, this was a great scene. I think this might be my favorite scene from the episode because you can really see, when he first starts off, you can really see his anger with the Borg. And I had to do some quick little research. This is the first time they've encountered a Borg since he's been de-assimilated. So I wasn't for sure until after I watched. I had to look it up. But yeah, I mean, this was a really strong scene where he immediately comes out like, "What's your designation?" He says, "Hugh." Like, "No, what is your designation?" Until he gets him this. Yeah. And then he does the whole, you will be assimilated. He tries to get him to go back to his Borg's ways. And then whenever he's like, "Well, not Geordi. Geordi can't be assimilated."
Yeah, that was the thing is, Jean-Luc, like saying that now, that we talked about that it says that he's there so that they can assimilate everyone on the Enterprise, and it's going to happen, and this is where we see humanity in Hugh. Some humanity.
Oh, I see what you did there.
He said not Geordi. He said I would die instead of Geordi be assimilated. He does not want that because Geordi is his best friend now. Geordi fed him.
Yeah.
And Geordi's taking care of him. Geordi's answered all of his million questions, And you sort of see, like, the wheels turning in Jean-Luc's face. It's funny, I can't call him a Picard now after all that talk. And Hugh's pleading for someone else's life, a human's life, not to be assimilated. Well, and then he's like, they're kind of sort of going back and forth, and Hugh uses the pronoun I instead of we.
Mm-hmm. It's a really powerful scene because you see, I remember watching this like live for the first time, and when Hugh calls him Locutus and Picard kind of takes on that persona. I remember being young and seeing this and thinking, oh my God, did he like flip a switch in him? Like, is it like the Winter Soldier? Although that wasn't out yet, but like, is it like the Winter Soldier? He's like saying the words, longing, 19, homecoming, and then it's like, mission report, December 16th, 1991. Like, is that what's happening here? But like, Picard gives such a really good performance here of saying, that he's Locutus and he will assimilate this vessel and you will assist us. And the idea of Geordi being assimilated and dying, like Hugh, it's too much for him. And he's like, nope, I will not assist you. And it is a powerful scene of Picard even being like, what did you say? Did you say I? Like, he can't even believe that this Borg is thinking for himself.
He has to say I twice before it even, like, registers to Picard. Because he's like, I won't do it. He's like, I'm Hugh, whatever. He said, and it's just like, well, excuse me? Or as I wrote down, excuse me?
Excuse me.
I would love to hear Patrick Stewart say excuse me.
He'd probably do it.
Yeah, he would. He's got a pretty good sense of humor. Anyway, so yeah, this is a very powerful scene and excellently acted.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. So we got both Hugh, who's now woke, and we got Picard, who's now starting to see Hugh not just as a piece of machine. He's starting to see him as a person.
Woke Borg.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Yep.
Woke Borg.
All right, so now that Jean-Luc is on board with the woke Borg, we have him and the team in the observation room, and Picard is like, didn't initially really want to meet him because I didn't want anything getting away in the plan of destroying the Borg, And so everybody's kind of like, okay, yeah, well, we kind of figured that. And so now Picard is like, Hugh is a person. What are we going to do about it? And he asks for suggestions from everybody what they should do. Should they send him back? Should they go through with the plan? No, they don't want to go through with the plan. Should he? What if? Does he want to stay? What if he wants to stay? What are we going to do? And he thinks if they end up sending them back and not executing their virus, that just him having a sense of self and even just a glimpse of that being uploaded to their hive mind could be more damaging to them as a group than actually murdering them all.
Right.
And that was a really sort of interesting conclusion, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Picard, he has that idea of like, well, maybe the individuality could be the most damaging thing to their system.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea that, like, in a way, they're still implanting some kind of a virus, except that it's not a lethal virus and it's not it's not going to kill them, but it will give them a chance to experience singularity and individuality. But at the same time, they still will give Hugh the choice. They will give him the choice, like, will you stay or do you want to return? And which is, they could have easily made the choice for him and been like, well, you're going back, Buster, bye. But they don't.
Make sure you cough on
yeah.
good.
Yeah, make sure you cough on.
That's how computer viruses are spread, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how computer viruses are spread. I mean, I'm no IT expert, but I'm pretty sure.
So this takes us into the next scene. Hugh is in the ready room, checking out the fish tank, the fish bubble in the wall. Picard and Geordi come in, and this is where they offer him the choice. Do you stay? Do you go? They have to tell him a couple times before he gets it, before it sinks in, that he could stay. He could stay there with Geordi if he wants.
Yeah.
And ultimately he decides not to because it would be too dangerous. And really, it seems like he only cares if something happened to Geordi still.
screw everybody else. Screw all the kids on this ship. What happens to Geordi?